Hello, everyone, and happy Wednesday. I would like to thank you very much for joining me here today. And so today I would like to bring to you a series of truly crazy videos that I've seen online, really from crazy woke liberals who say the most crazy things online. And so this is what I would like to react to. But before I get on with so if you like my channel and you want to subscribe to my channel, please do so. And you're more than welcome to also like, comment, and share with your on this video. And I would very much appreciate you doing so. So without further ado, let's get into this.
There is so much power in powerlessness. So, a video.
Sorry, ma'am. I have to say that you are so wrong on so many levels on this one. No, there is not power in powerlessness, eh? But I can tell you that there is definitely power in victimhood. In 2023, the best thing one can do is to be a victim. Is to be a victim. If you're a victim, it is a good thing in 2023. Huh? So, no, I disagree with you. I think you're talking nonsense. Okay? But let's carry
Popped
on.
up on my FYP, as always. It was a video I'd stitched before. It was a black man on a podcast saying that black women were more of a threat to black men than white men. Now, you may see an angry black man, but what I see is a man who feels powerless.
So, again, how can I say that? So there is something fundamental. For my listeners and those who are well versed in politics, I'm sure you will be able to recognize what this person is saying, right? So it's the whole idea of power struggle. They see power struggle in everywhere, in everything, in relationship, at work, at home, everywhere. What does it remind you of? Where on earth have you heard that before? Perhaps an organization which in 2020, in the fake summer of love, raised over $90 million and spent it all on crazy things like paying for baby mamas and or baby daddy's security nonsense and buying homes crazy at crazy price and for no good reasons. We remember them, the founders of that organization themselves. That organization that told you that they want to destroy the nuclear family. The founders of that organization, very Marxists, who told you flat out that they were Marxists, trained Marxists. Those were the exact words, not mine. Those people who talk to you about oppression, this oppression, that, but then fail to recognize that one of the big way that caused this level of powerlessness that she's describing actually come through two things. One, poor education. Two, father absence. And yet she will support that organization because she thinks that organization is doing something good. How dumb can these people be? This is what I have to say about it. I believe it is completely and utterly dumb. And I will say it very, very clearly.
It occurred to me that men, more specifically the men in our community, who feel powerless, will muster up enough power, just enough power to oppress the women in that community. But what they won't do, right, is muster up enough power to alleviate the thing that is making them feel powerless in the first place. Imagine getting shot, and instead of going to the hospital, you shoot the neighbor. Imagine your house being on fire, and instead of putting out that fire, you set the neighbor's house on fire. The most powerless men use whatever power they do have to make a.
So, so going back to this, so I said, I think I have said that I tried to find a video that she referenced and I couldn't. But I have lost. I don't live in America. I'm not an American, but I have lost count of the number of times when I've heard stories of men who, more recently, I was watching in the news of a man. I believe he was in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. And this man befriended a woman before that he knew for a while, and this woman, who was pregnant at the time, gave birth, and then when she went to register the kid, and obtain the birth certificate for the child, she put this man's name as the birth parent. So even if this man is actually not the biological, and they could see from the DNA tests that were done that he's not the biological father, they still put him in jail for not paying child support. Perhaps that's what some black men, sorry, I'm told, see as a threat, because they don't want to be attached to the hips of a child that they know is not there. So if it is by choice, that's something completely different. But if it is basically being ambushed by someone, then they will have a problem. So that is one thing. The other thing is that the simple thing is the simple statistic tells you that most white people attack other white people. Most black people attack other black people. So a if a black man says, well, statistically at least, he is correct that they're more threatened by a black woman than a white man. I don't know whether you've been to college, or if you have been to college, surely they should have taught you that, with those very basic facts, that the reality is that most crimes that occur by far happen within a specific race or ethnic group. So what are you talking about? At least be intellectually astute and say things the way they are, and stop lying.
Other people feel powerless too, instead of doing the work to become powerful. Powerless men do whatever it takes to make the women in their community feel just as powerless as they feel. But what they're seeing is that a lot of black women are not powerless, and we don't pretend to be. We have regained.
So once again, this whole power struggle thing, power, keyword. Please, guys, remember that.
Much of our power by getting degrees, through financial stability.
Oh gosh. Uh, Listen, the only thing really, you would have power. In fact, as a woman, you can make your man do pretty much anything you want him to do. If he loves you, he will do that. You don't need that is your special power. If you want me to say that, you don't need anything else. But your problem is that your attitude sucks. Your attitude stinks, my dear. And nobody will want to be with you. I wouldn't want to be with you based on what I've heard so far, for one reason only. Okay? You're saying things that make no sense. So far, you have said things that make absolute no sense. Zero. Nada. Zilch.
Sexual freedom, and being single. Black women are the downfall of the black family. No, black women are healing the black family by not participating in it. We are not participating in it until men change the way that they have been socialized to view black women. It's that simple. If you want black women to participate in the black family, give her a damn good reason to. All in all, when men can't make you feel as powerless as they do, they villainize you. And black women are sick of being villainized.
Well, I can understand you being sick. We're also sick of your attitude. We are. Hmm? We are. We are sick of your attitude.
You aren't mad at us. You're mad at your mom, right? And that's not being mean. You're mad at your mom, and your mom is mad at herself because no matter what she did, you still turned out to be the man that your sorry ass daddy was.
So this last part, at least she's correct. Just like a broken clock is right at least twice a day. She is correct there. I started by saying that a lot of the big problems that I can see in the African American community is education. One of them is education. The second one, fatherlessness. If they can fix the latter first, okay, so that the kids can then be educated appropriately in a good way, raised by two parents with the stability or the financial stability that she's referring to, I think everything will be great. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that this woman was raised by her mother. And then I'm pretty sure that she has a problem with her father too. And that's why she's saying the things that she says. So that is my take. And it is really really sad that people do not um take care of their kids. I think it's bad. I think it's evil. And on that specific part, I agree with her. But the problem is that she's not going to put measures in place to choose the right kind of partner for herself, or even advising her friends, if it comes to that. So that is my problem.
Please heal for the community's sake.
Here's your reminder.
So the second one is this crazy video. My reaction to it will be very short. So let's continue.
Here's your reminder that lesbians don't have to be women. Some people see the identity lesbian as very rooted within the gender binary of man and woman, and so they define lesbian as women who love women. And it's valid for anyone who wants to define it as that. But in truth, the word lesbian could go so much further beyond just the gender binary. There are non-binary lesbians who might connect to womanhood in a way that's different.
Look, I am sick and tired of the non-binary mafia. Really, we can't keep up. We can't keep up. The whole point of being non-binary is that you are saying that you cannot belong to you can't feel. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that you can't feel like a man or a woman. So you're not in that binary. So if you're not in that binary, by definition, a lesbian is a woman, my dear. Stop inventing. So that would be my first comment. My second comment is this. Perhaps it's a good thing. I see a divorce coming in the horizon. And one of the divorce that I believe is a good thing in this specific case, and that divorce is the divorce between the L, the G's, and the B from the T and everything else that comes after the T's, because those people are crazy. They tell you things like lesbian don't have to be women. That is just simply crazy. You are doing your very best to remove words like men and women. And that is fundamentally wrong. Fundamentally wrong. And you people don't even understand that you keep saying stupidities after stupidities after stupidities. Are you not tired of that already?
from how society traditionally defines it. There can be lesbians that connect with any gender because it doesn't have to be constricted within that gender binary.
No. Lesbians cannot be non-binary. I'm sorry. You can smirk, you can whatever. What you're saying is just plain stupid. If you were in front of me, I'm not gonna be nice. I would tell you that flat out. It is because of people like you that the West is falling apart. You have truly become the dumbest people in history when you say things like that. Because even those words like non-binary or lesbian or whatever, those words don't make any sense if you cannot define what those words are in the first place. If you can be anything, then you are nothing. We are people, we are beings limited by our bodies, we are beings limited by place and time. We can't be anything we want to be all at once and for all eternity. It is not possible. And I do understand why so many people end up killing themselves eventually with sympathy. It's because if you live in a world where you keep coming up with things that you know for sure is not true, but you just say them, you will be sadly disillusioned. That is the truth. You will be sadly disillusioned. And I wish someone would actually tell these people the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So let's move on to our third video.
You know, folks always like to say that we are not our ancestors, as if we're somehow tougher than our ancestors. Because let's be honest, if half the stuff that was going on right now was happening in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, our ancestors would already be out on the streets. Because they would feel and understand the sense of urgency that I feel like we're lacking right now to do something before it's...
I think in a sense she's right, because she's talking about the sense of urgency. Well, here is the thing. You cannot have a sense of urgency when your priorities are not even right in the first place. That is just how it is. If you have not defined what your priority are, and even defining the word priority, we have to make sure that we actually define the word priority for starters, because so many of these insane individuals cannot keep they can't actually define things the way normal people like you and me do define them, because they are truly insane, woke, crazy, insane liberals.
too late. The recent decisions by the Supreme Court to roll back affirmative actions.
So she refers to affirmative action, right? So the same people who talk to you about affirmative action, we've just heard. I talked about just the previous video, the role that fatherlessness has to play in education. Why is it that those people believe that black kids are not intelligent enough? No, it has nothing to do with intelligence. It is everything with them growing up in a system or in an environment that foster growth. And when you do everything to disrupt the nuclear family, you get the results that you have. Kids who cannot excel at school because they don't have the support required for them. That's the first thing. Number two, you keep talking about affirmative action. Affirmative action is something that everybody, well, you people talk about, but you don't actually want to own. Because if they tell you that you've been to university or you've obtained a job just because of the color of your skin, or if you are in affirmative action, you will be upset. I would too. Because never in my life I've been given anything because of the color of my skin. It is insane. You're talking me, that is, talking about the great grandson of a man who studied under a tree, whose grandfather stopped school in grade 8 to become a cook first, and then learn the trade of being a nurse on the job. And then, obviously, a father who then became a doctor himself. And me, later on, working in the finance industry. The idea that the color of our skin determines the trajectory of our life is ridiculous, lady. Maybe nobody has told you that before, but it is ridiculous. I do not understand why you people keep talking about affirmative action. You are being ridiculous.
Universities, it is only a matter of time before that bleeds into every single industry that we interact with. And the fact that now businesses can discriminate against the LGBTQI community.
Did you notice that she had to make sure that she includes everything, all this intersectionality nonsense? We are done with you freaking people. You are insane. All that the Supreme Court in that decision is saying is that you cannot force a person to speak or to say to speak on things that they disagree with you. We're not asking your opinion. It is our God-given right. It is not the government that gave us that right. We will not cede that right to you. We have our own, we have a God-given freedom. At least in America, those freedoms are enshrined in the Constitution. That was the first one, because the government cannot compel you to say things that you disagree with. And liberals used to understand that a long time ago, but sadly, they cannot do so anymore. And that is just simply insane.
How long do you think it's going to take before they want to discriminate against us? And while I'm going to vote blue, because again, this is not about choosing your hero, this is about choosing your opponent,
by all means, choose blue, and you will be sorry. Choose blue and you'll be sorry, because your schools are not going to improve. They cannot improve with people like you, who vote stupid people, who do not care about their education. So yeah, keep voting blue. Just tell me what is happening in LA. Tell me the number of families that are broken because of crime. Or maybe we shouldn't talk about that? I mean, you people are insane. You are so insane.
get so frustrated watching the Democrats still try to shake hands and be friends with people across the aisle that are literally trying to unalive us.
No, I'm sorry. Nobody is trying to unalive you. Your community, since that's what you people like you love to talk about, you're doing the unaliving very well, all by yourself. All by yourselves. You are doing the unaliving extremely well, with an A+ rating. And by the way, if you don't want to do the unaliving, then don't do it. Many of us who happen to look like you, quote unquote, which is something that you love to say, we're not in the business of unaliving people. What are you talking about? We're not in the business of unaliving people. Just stop unalive each other. It is very simple. Stop pretending that there's some imaginary other race out there that has the specific goal of unaliving black men in particular. It doesn't mean that racism doesn't exist. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, it is crazy to think that there is a purpose out there with the explicit goal of unaliving, so to speak, black men. By the way, how many abortions, how many black men or future potential black men are killed every day because of abortions? How many?
This is not a fair fight. It's time to get more strategic, otherwise, we're going to continue to lose and people's rights are going to continue to be taken until it's too late.
So, this is my reaction. So that was 3 stories that I'm going to talk about so far. But please stick with me for the next one until, yeah, and we'll carry on and discuss that as well. So please come back soon.